So everyone is aware of the success Nintendo Switch is currently having in the global market. Obviously, having not been out for a year yet, already outselling the Wii U means it's performing quite well in the industry. And when you break it down further into individual sort of locations, and yeah, it's still performing well in Japan and America, and it's also performing well here in the UK. So Nintendo has now sold over 700,000 Switch consoles in the UK since its launch last March. And this would mean that the lifetime sales of the Switch will have overtaken those of the Wii U in the UK, following on from news that this has happened in other territories already. And this success for Nintendo Switch in the UK has also been reported by a video game retailer found in the UK called Game, and they have said they've had improved results thanks to the console towards the end of last year on the back of yearly financial struggles for the company in recent times. So obviously this is a change for them, and they're obviously quite happy with the results the Nintendo Switch has given them. However, when you look at the market in a bit more detail, it is still plain to see that Nintendo is struggling in the UK compared to maybe past success and compared to other territories that Nintendo find themselves in, and finally compared to other competitors such as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So why does Nintendo maybe struggle so much in the UK market? Now don't get me wrong, as we've just said, the Nintendo Switch is proven insanely successful over here in the UK as well. 700,000 consoles in less than a year is a very good amount to sell in the UK. And the console sales are nowhere near the Wii sales of the UK, when that was obviously a massive must-have gadget on the market, back when that launched in 2006, I believe. The PlayStation 4 is currently dominating the UK market, so that might have a massive impact. And maybe generally the gaming community in this part of the world prefers the games that you might pick up on offer on the PlayStation 4 and a sort of traditional console sort of gaming way of playing games might be the way that people want to play games over here. Or maybe there's a little bit more to it than that. Personally, I think the reason for Nintendo's recent failings in this part of the world, in the UK, if you can call them recent failings, like I said, 700,000 consoles in less than a year is a good amount for Nintendo to sort of build on and use as a platform going forward to maybe get back to the heights they used to have back here in the UK. But I think largely the sort of decline in Nintendo and the Nintendo brand and what people think of Nintendo in the UK has come as a result of maybe the later half of the Wii and then also the Wii U and everything that went along with the Wii U basically. So over here, nobody really knew what the Wii U was, and I mean everywhere in the world had that sort of problem to an extent. But I think Nintendo of Europe did a very, very poor job of marketing that console over here in Europe, not just in the UK. Obviously, Nintendo of Europe is the branch, and I would assume they're in charge of marketing for all the different countries, but the UK in particular, which is obviously where we are based here, there was a really poor marketing campaign for the console. Like, I hardly remember seeing any adverts for the Wii U when it launched on the telly compared to now when you compare it with the Switch. I think another problem for the Wii U was coming out sort of later than the competition in terms of, well, I say later than the competition. The Wii obviously came out with the 360 and the PlayStation 3, but was significantly less powerful. They got away with it with the motion controls and maybe the cheaper price. Obviously that was the thing for the Wii, and it did well initially, before turning into a party game machine that people maybe picked up one or two games for, casually. That's how it got so many sales, was the people like the mums that are buying it for their kids to play Wii Sports and then maybe carnival games and stuff like that. So I know for a fact that in my family I play with my brother and sister, and obviously the parents as well, and we maybe play these party games and other things, maybe Mario Kart, but party games in general, Rayman, Raving Rabbits, all that sort of stuff. It was on the Wii. That's where the Wii was. It was a console where everyone would play together. But then when you want to go play with your friends, maybe from school, so like my brother growing up, when he wants to go play with his friends now, if he wants to go play Call of Duty or Minecraft or whatever, that's not really where you're going to go to play those games, the Wii. And then obviously the Wii U following on with the same sort of branding, a continuation of the Wii, really, use all the same peripherals and all that stuff. Yes, you get the tablet controller as well, but then that bumped up the price. You could buy a 360 for cheaper or whatever the case was, which had the increased social aspects in terms of the online gaming. So when you're going through school, you talk to your friends, then they want to jump on Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto because it's cool. You're not even old enough to play them yet. Then you're not going to be asking your parents for a Wii U for Christmas. And then even if you did ask your parents for a Wii U for Christmas, they probably don't even know that it's a new console, and they probably just think it's a £300 tablet that plugs into your Wii. And that obviously seems quite expensive for a tablet that just plugs into the Wii. And then as a result of this lack of initial sales, there wasn't really any sales for the Wii U. So the thing that made it big in terms of families, and the thing that made the mothers go and buy it for their children so they could play it as a family together, all the mini games, all the shovelware if you like, didn't come to the Wii U, so they had no carnival games to go and buy, or maybe the odd one or two, but the shelves weren't rammed full like they would have been with Wii games. Oh, this one looks nice, I think this will be a good one for the family to play. That wasn't there in the sort of game stores. The Wii U had limited shelf space. When you did buy a Wii U game, you were always asked, do you actually realise you cannot play this on the Nintendo Wii? It's for the new console, the Wii U, in which case, if you do know your stuff, you're just like, do you think I'm stupid? Yeah, of course I know that, but surprisingly not everyone does, which is why they're asking that question. And I think that just explains all over why the Wii U was just not successful, and no one wanted it. I had one myself, and I enjoyed the console because I like playing the Nintendo games, but I think maybe one or two of my friends bought one. I know one of them bought one just towards the end because he finally thought there was a sufficient enough amount of first-party games that he would play on the console. But in terms of like, alright, get a Wii U so we can play Smash Brothers together, it's like, I'm not getting a Wii U, and we're going to spend £300 on that for the sake of playing one game a couple of times before it starts collecting dust. And that's a fair enough point, because when you do want to play the third-party games like Call of Duty, like FIFA, like Destiny, they ain't coming to the Wii U, so you're not going to be picking that up as your primary social console. You're just relying on the Nintendo exclusives with their poor online structure, which basically it's not very good experience playing online with your friends. So you may as well just have the Wii U and get your friends over to your house and have this better experience, and that's basically what Nintendo's always excelled at, is couch co-op and that sort of thing. So add everything up together, and yeah, the Wii U is not done very good in the UK. So then that translates now onto the new console, the Nintendo Switch, and yes, they're doing a lot better. They've marketed it a lot better. People know what it is. People think it's something that they would like to have. There was shortages of Switch consoles at first. People were struggling to pick them up, as they were everywhere across the world. And maybe the number of consoles would have been higher if that wasn't the case. But then that happened to the Wii as well. And obviously the Wii sold significantly more. But it's nice to see Nintendo is getting back on track and getting its name back into the UK households. Like, I know that I can go speak to my dad, and I'll talk to him about Nintendo, and he thinks the Switch is quite a cool device, and he thinks that the new Nintendo Labo that's just been announced is good, and he thinks obviously for my brother who's younger than me, that it would be something that he'd be very into, and he's got a creative mind. He loves playing Minecraft and he loves playing Lego in real life now, not the Lego games. So having something that combines both like a game with something that you can build in real life and then use in real life, he thinks it's a brilliant idea for that aspect. So he thinks they're on the right track, and he actually thinks positive about the brand and the company again. Whereas when I spoke to him about Nintendo when the Wii U was around, he'd just be like, oh, what a joke, like what is the point of that? Why would you even buy one? They're on their way out, like they're going to be gone soon. And he doesn't follow the gaming industry at all, but that's the sort of reaction and response you get out of people during that time. So like, people obviously didn't think much of Nintendo. They thought they were a sinking ship. And it's nice to see that is now changing and has flipped around. It's nice to see people recognising that it's a good console, the Nintendo Switch, and that's translated into sales and success. And hopefully that can continue, and hopefully they can rebuild their fan base and rebuild their sort of consumer base in the UK, because obviously that's a good thing for the gaming industry. And you can tell that it is happening because the Nintendo Switch is having space in shops again once more, whereas the Wii U would maybe have one gondola or one sort of shelf or something in certain shops, and the rest would be PlayStation and Microsoft Xbox shelf space, obviously. So hopefully the Switch continues to be successful. What do you think? Do you think the Switch has been a success in the UK, or do you think Nintendo is never going to get back to the heights they used to be back in the day, and that the UK is just always going to prefer maybe Xbox or PlayStation? Or do you think that the Switch is the best of the three and you prefer it? Let me know in the comments below what you think about this news and how Nintendo is faring in the UK and other places in the world. Obviously, if you're not from the UK, who is the favourite console manufacturer where you're from? So let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and it does support and help the channel. Obviously allows me to continue doing what I do, showing what sort of videos that you like, and helps me push out content in the right direction, obviously, for the people watching, which is you guys that obviously make the channel keep going. And so subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching. I shall see you again soon.